We celebrate the life of George Paul Joseph, also known as Francis or Sick of Babonneau, who passed away at the Tapia Hospital on Sunday, February 16, 2014 at 9:45 a.m. He was 65 years old. He was a retired security officer at the Debarra Primary School, a taxi driver at the Windjammer Landing Resort, and the president of the Debarra Mothers and Fathers Group. He left to mourn his passing his loving wife, Christina Delaire Joseph, retired principal of the Babonneau Primary School, who was also his caretaker. Children: Gloria Louis, residing in Martinique; Paul Simon of Debarra; Claude Simon of Debarra; Siobhan Fassois of Olean-Dennery; Matthew Fassois of Kako; adopted daughter Wendy Plummer, teacher at the Babonneau Primary School, and her husband Vaughan Plummer of Babonneau. Brothers: George Auguste of St. Croix; Andrew Joseph, also known as Bobot of Debarra; Peter Louis Joseph of Debarra; Harry Vorley of Morshy; Cyprian Lambert of Miami, Florida; Ira of Olean; Nelbert of Olean. Sisters: Elizabeth Justin, also known as Eldrina of Gara; Veronica David of Morshy; Cecilia David of Morshy; Veronica Alphonse, also known as Daphne of Debarra, cook at the Debarra Primary School; Mary Vorley of Debarra, employee of the Foissaw Food Processing Plant; Mariella Lambert of Debarra, aunt; Aliska Willie and daughter, a femme of Pébouche. Grandchildren: Yolanda Simon of Debarra; Casey Furman of Debarra; Chanel Furman of Debarra; Delia Simon of Trinidad; Dwight Louis of Martinique; Latanya Vanille Louis of Debarra; Shunia Louis of Martinique; Mateo Fassois of Kako; Shivani Fassois of Olean. Adopted grandchildren: Vianney and Vijay Plummer of Babonneau. Nieces: Pamelda Joseph, teacher at the Debarra Primary School, who was also his goddaughter; Mava Joseph of Debarra, auditor of Hermes Offshore Bank; Bunessa Casey Joseph, nurse at the National Wellness Center; Coletta Joseph of the USA; Emily Joseph of Resina; Bunessa Joseph of Grand Riviere, Groselet; Ferrier Justin of Gara, employed at Bee Gardens Hotel; Virginia Justin of Gara; Magdalene Justin of the USA; Petra Justin of Lac-Wamengo; Julietta Justin of Gara; Sabina Moses of Balata; Claudia Marius of Gara; Carol Seeley of Gara; Latoya Alphonse of Debarra, employed with the Civil Service Credit Union; Ingrid Alphonse of Debarra; Sister Antonia David of the Dominican Sisters; Tekla Nolly of Morshy; Marilyn Joseph of Florida; Cynthia Joseph of Chasse; Martina Joseph of Gara; Tamara Lambert Seeley of Carolee, employee of Actel; Yolanda Tamara Lambert of Debarra; Janadel Tanner Paul of Debarra; Ermine Vorley of Morshy; Talia Vorley of Diramo; Donna St. Mark of Babonneau; Kiani David of Trois-Pitons. Nephews: Hector Auguste of Texas, USA; Paris Justin, also known as Exodus of Gara; Herbert Justin of Gara; Hector Justin of Gara; Sylvanus Justin of Forestier; Irvin Duplessis of Chasse; Amos Duplessis of Mark; Aaron David of Morshy; Lloyd David of Morshy; Marcel David of Morshy; Philip Joseph, motor mechanic of Gara; Andrew Lambert of Debarra; Marcus Paul of Debarra; Tristan Paul of Debarra; Alex Joseph of Debarra, porter at Lispo; Dwight Volney of Debarra; Martin Volney of Debarra; Ryan Volney of Debarra; Marvin Volney of Debarra; Remy Farrell and family of Leclerc; Sheldon Volney of Kako, Babonneau; Huvan Volney of London, England. Sisters-in-law: Patricia Joseph, janitor at the Debarra Primary School; Mary Auguste of St. Croix; Bufalina Joseph of Debarra; Mary Felsher Volney of Morshy; Veronica Pierre of Rodney Heights; Rosalind George of Bogies; Cecilia Chango of Leslieland; Maureen Gasper of Hill 20; Judith Paris of Hill 20, teacher at the Babonneau Primary School; Delicia Thomas of Babonneau, employed with the Ministry of Infrastructure, Port Services and Transport. Brothers-in-law: Joseph David of Moshi, Anthony David of Moshi, Lambert Simon of Debarra, Finbar Delaire of Connecticut, USA, Leonard Delaire of Connecticut, USA, Michael Lima of Chassé, Patrick Justin of Gara, son-in-law Nicholas Charles of Martinique, cousins Luciana of Pébouche, Belted of Gara, Marjorie of Casaba, Noretta of Gara, Afi of Gara, Aklo of Monmonzi, Baby of Martinique, grand nieces and nephews Phaedra Norley of Moshi, Janias in Martinique, Romano Volney in Martinique, Jean Nile of Foisson, Sage Volney of Debarra, Lucian Volney of Debarra, Ryan Volney in Canada, Jean Seeley of Caroline, Zandri Lambert of Debarra, Joel David of Moshi, Ariel David of Moshi, adopted family Marcia Alexander of Plateau, Luciana Fassois of Martinique, Shanda Fassois of Martinique, Marg of Trinidad, Aloysius Sydney and family of Balata, butler at Sandals Latalk, Emily Leos and family in Atlanta, Georgia, Venancia Sydney and family of Debarra, supervisor of housekeeping at Lispo, friends Lou and Jeannie of Connecticut, USA, Hughes Nelson of Geno, Donald Nelson of Debarra, Victor Lura of Debarra, Charleston St. Val, also known as Opossum, originally of Foisson, his dedicated farm workers, Tio of Debarra, Hallan of Debarra, Canis of Chassé. Also left among the members of the Debarra Mothers and Fathers Group, the taxi drivers at Windjammer Landing Resort, the management and staff of Windjammer Landing Resort, the management and staff at Tapia Hospital, the Lambert family of Debarra and Gara, the Delay family of Babono, Laguerre, Gara, Marisol and the USA, the Fannis family of Gara, the Willie family of Gara and Debarra, the Wilfred family of Debarra. The funeral service for the late George Paul Joseph, also known as Francis or Sick, will be held at the Good Shepherd Church, Babono, on Friday, 28 February 2014 at 2 p.m. The body will be laid to rest at the Gara Cemetery. The body now lies at the Cricks Funeral Home Limited, Fidbutay. May he rest in perfect peace. Members of the Babono Church Choir and musicians are kindly invited to attend the funeral service.